Andy Johnson. We're looking at reconceptualizing phonics instruction. This is taken these ideas from an article by Margaret Mustafa, Reconceptualizing Phonics Instruction. First of all, struggling readers, what do they need? They do not need a heavy dose of phonics. Phonics is necessary, putting letter sounds together, but it's not sufficient. A purely skills-based approach to reading, especially for struggling readers, has not been shown to be effective for anything else than helping them sound out words. But reading is not sounding out words, it's creating meaning with print. However, whole language classrooms, authentic reading contexts have been found to be more effective in helping children acquire letter sound knowledge, effective for phonics acquisition, because they see it in context. And this is a related thing. Parts to whole instruction for any type of high level skill, be it in music, sports, or reading, has not been shown to be as effective as whole to parts instruction. Whole to parts means you see a context and then you get the specific skill instruction. You see the puzzle so you know where to put the piece, versus you get instruction but you don't have a context, you don't know where to put it. You get a bunch of little puzzle pieces with the idea that you're going to put them all together and create a meaningful whole. Not as effective as whole to parts instruction. And in a related thing, beginning readers, and I see this time and time again, can more easily recognize words in context versus isolation. Show a list of words, they get maybe 8 out of 10. Show them the same words in context, they get 10 out of 10. Why is that? We use context, and it shows that just sounding out words, individual letters, are not as effective as using context. But back to phonics. Large unit phonics. Reading is not sounding out words. Many people still believe that. Many bad research articles and many ineffective reading interventions are based on this idea that reading is sounding out words. So you get a lot of sounding out word practice, and you have sounding out word measures, and you say, see, this is superior. My students can sound out words. However, the sounding out words has little transfer to authentic reading context and is not very effective in enhancing students' ability to create meaning with print. More synthetic phonics, more sounding out word practice is not effective for remediation or as an intervention for struggling readers. If it was, we'd have books and books and books written on more phonics, more sounding out word practice. I'd have a class at the university called Sounding Out Word Class, but instead it's called Literacy Methods. There are 3 types of phonics instruction: synthetic phonics, putting letters together to form words; analytic phonics, analyzing words you see in print, find the word that has the d sound at the end; and large unit phonics, recognizing letter patterns, word families. Which one is most effective? Well, analytic and large unit, but that does not mean we should not use all 3. All 3 should be used, a little of this and a little of that. Now, Mustafa found, interesting enough, that the first words that children learn to recognize, they are learned as unanalyzed wholes, meaning the first words they recognize, they don't learn them by sounding out the individual letters, they see them as complete wholes without necessarily sounding out the letters. As children, beginning readers recognize more words, they're better able to identify unknown words in print. Now again, this does not mean that we do not attend to phonics, a little bit more on that. But she found that children use their knowledge of letter patterns to identify and sound out these unknown words in print. How is this like something I know? Do I see a familiar word family, pattern, phonogram, or an onset or a rhyme? They use an analogy between the known and the unknown words to help them pronounce or to sound out. Now, letter patterns in and of themselves are not very reliable in the English language. We don't have that one-to-one between sound and letter. They're just too unpredictable. So when children see a word they don't recognize, they have to try to identify what that word is. She found that readers actually, instead of using letters, they'll say, what patterns, what parts of the word are like something else that I know, another word that I know. As children recognize whole print words, they remember the letters and the pronunciations together. They see the words in the context of a meaningful sentence or story. The more words that students recognize, the better able they are to make analogies. The rich get richer, the poor get poor. The importance of doing a lot of reading volume is linked to increases in word identification, comprehension, fluency, vocabulary, conceptual knowledge, all this stuff. Large unit phonics is based on phonograms or letter patterns or families. Now, this, again, does not mean we should abandon synthetic phonics. Oh, no. It means we should use analytic and large unit phonics. I would personally tend to decrease the amount of synthetic phonics I use and have more analytic and large unit. We want children, efficient readers, don't see a word and process it letter by letter. They look for patterns. As you're looking at the words on the screen, when you see phonograms, you are not processing each individual letter. You're looking at patterns, letter patterns, parts of the words that you know. So, some strategies to develop large unit phonics. Analogies. How is this word like another? What part of the word do you recognize? Onset, rhyme, or word building. You see parts of the words, you put them together to create words. Word sorts. List of 8 to 15 words. Put them in groups according to letter pattern or letter sound. And then word walls. You have words on the wall grouped by letter patterns. And again, phonics instruction is part of learning to read, but it is not reading. Phonics is one of 5 ways to identify words that you do not recognize. It is the least efficient in terms of the amount of space in short-term memory. 3 types of phonics instruction. You should use all of them, not simply one.